Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Grabbed the wrong one. A lot of information coming out today. A lot to go through. Let me just say hi to everybody. Nura, Haji, Mitch, Mexigirl, Not Sherlock Holmes, Chungus is in the chat. M35, Linda H. You know they exist. Just catching up with everybody's chat. Yes, there is big news coming out of Romania. There's big news coming out of everywhere, it seems. I'm your realtor now. You know they exist. Cool. Hugh G. Welcome to the stream. David N. Haji. I think I said hello to everybody that said hi in chat, or even said anything in chat. So, yeah, let's get right into it. There's a lot to go through. So, operational information as of 8 a.m. May 18th regarding the Russian invasion. As always, the report starts with glory to Ukraine. The 1,180th day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 167 combat clashes were recorded over the past day. Yesterday, the invaders carried out 75 airstrikes on the positions of our troops and settlements, dropping 106 guided aerial bombs. In addition, they engaged 2,960 kamikaze drones for destruction and carried out 4,735 artillery strikes, including 122 from multiple launch rocket systems. The aggressor carried out airstrikes on the settlements of Bunyanki, Sumy region, Kupiansk in Kharkiv, Berezova in Dnipro region. Yes, I know this is Dnipropetrovsk, but that is the Russian way of saying it, but that is how it is spelled and laid out in the Ukrainian constitution, and they cannot change that very easily. The Ukrainian way to say it is Dnipro. So I say Dnipro, even though it is officially Dnipropetrovsk. Kutivka, Konstantinivka, Bilsivka, Yablunivka, Novopil in Donetsk, Novodorivka, Temrivka, Guliopol, Kamiansky in Zaporizhia, Mykolivka in Kherson region. Over the past day, the aviation, missile troops, and artillery units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine struck 4 concentrations of personnel, weapons, and military equipment, and 4 enemy artillery systems. Over the past day, the enemy attacked 3 times in the going into the directions already. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Kharkiv. 3 attacks in the directions of Voschansk and towards Stroyova, which is just here along the border with Russia. Let me go up here, there, and to the south on the map In the Kupiansk direction, there was one attack by the invaders during the day. The defense forces repelled the enemy assault near Zarazova, which is right here. Coming to the south to Liman direction, the enemy attacked 24 times, trying to advance near the settlements of Novoihorivka, right here, Lazova, heading to the south, Rikobub, Rivkivka, Katrinivka, more to the south, Yampolivka, and Zeleny Dolna. Heading further south to the Servisk direction, in the areas of Bilogorivka and Verkhnyo-Kamyansky, the enemy attacked the positions of our troops 10 times. Heading a bit to the west to Kramatorsk. First, Kramatorsk, Slovansk, and Konstantinivka, you will hear a lot about. Also, Druzhivka are the major points along this road, and the supply line links to Toretsk and Chasiv Yar. Unfortunately, no longer a supply line for Pokrovsk. Anyways, 8 offensive actions were recorded near Chasiv Yar in the Kramatorsk direction, Krudimivka, Pretechny, Stupochki, and zooming in, Bilogora. Heading directly to the south from Chasiv Yar to Toretsk. The enemy carried out 14 areas in the area of Toretsk itself. Ozinyarka, Devlivka, and Druzhba. Coming over to the Pokrovsk direction. Let me zoom out so we can show the entire area here. Pokrovsk, Mirnograd. Our defenders stopped 54 assault and offensive actions of the aggressor in the areas of the settlements of Staromykolaivka, Yablunivka, This one I am not exactly sure where it is. I saw it before, but my brain is not remembering exactly where that is supposed to be. Vozvidhinka. I have a feeling I'm going to have to do the zoom in. Novoolinka, Oleksandropol, Tarsivka, Zeleny Pol. I know where this is. I just don't know where it is. If that makes any sense. Yavlunivka, and the next town is Novopoltavka. So common sense would say it's in this area. I'm guessing it might be this settlement here. It's just not labeled on this map. But moving on, Novopoltavka is right here. Mirolubivka, Elizavetivka, Promin, Novosorhivka, Troitsky, and Andriivka. Coming over to the Novopavlivka direction, the enemy attacked 23 times near Constantinople, Bagatar, Volhyni Pol, and in the direction of Kumar, towards this direction. Skipping over Guliopol, sorry, G, not an H. I keep making that mistake. But over here in Orchiv, our defenders repelled 7 enemy assaults in the areas of Sochirabaki, Stepova, and Mala Sochirabaki. In the Dnieper direction, the enemy conducted 2 offensive operations without success. I actually have one of the videos of these for you today, and honestly, it's quite comical. Again, they don't give us town directions, but generally you see the assaults up here by Novokokovka or here by Oleshki. Kursk direction. Let me zoom up there. 14 combat clashes took place over the past day. The enemy launched 15 airstrikes, dropping 20 guided bombs, and carried out 224 artillery attacks, including 3 from MLRSs. No active enemy offensive actions were recorded in the Guliopil direction. No signs of the enemy offensive formations have been detected in the Volyn or Polizia directions. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses in manpower and equipment on the occupation forces and are actively undermining the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. Goes into the losses for yesterday. We'll cover that with the graphic. Join the defense forces. Razom Pereможemo. Slava Ukraina. Hey there, Adam Rounds, Anna B, Mertzi, good to see you guys. Steve Sane. See who else snuck in while I was doing that. Looks like I got everybody. Let me get to Discord. And combat losses of the Russians for today. May 18th, 1180th day. Russia lost an additional 1,130 personnel. Roughly about 25 more days. I'm going to say 23 more days until Russia hits 1 million personnel lost in this senseless invasion of Ukraine. 1 additional tank, 4 more armored personnel vehicles, 38 more artillery systems, just shy of 28,000. Only 20 more to go. Definitely be there tomorrow or today. 1 more MLRS, 107 UAVs, and 91 vehicles, giving us a nice even 48,900 vehicles destroyed so far. And this is just since the full-scale invasion, not counting since 2014 when they occupied Crimea and a small area of the Donbass. Moving on from there, let's go to the air raid map. Currently, there is only 2 areas of action right now. Donetsk for 8 hours and 6 minutes. 7 hours, 43 minutes ago, Konstantinivka reported explosions. and the very eastern edge of Dnipro region, which has been under air alert for 5 hours 27 minutes. You'll notice a new symbol here. We'll get to that shortly. I want to make sure I cover everything else. There's no speech from Zelensky today. He was rather busy holding several meetings at the Vatican, meeting with the Pope. I'll cover all that with the stories we have, but I did want to cover this one with you. It is very symbolic that today's commemoration. Okay, I need a drink before I do this one. It is very symbolic that today's commemoration of the victims of political repression takes place at the same time that our partners and I have maximally intensified diplomatic efforts to stop Russia's aggression. In return, all our people from Russian captivity, and to guarantee a true peace. Yeah, you bring enough to share next time, Chungus. Hey there, LJ. We do not forget that Moscow is, and what evil came from there for Ukrainians of modern generations and those who came before us. The independence and sovereignty of the Ukrainian state are the basis for the preservation of our people. Freedom for Ukrainians and Ukrainian culture can only be ensured by guaranteeing reliable protection from Russia. These days, all meetings and negotiations were dedicated to security and peace for Ukraine. Thank you to everyone in the world who helps Ukraine. Eternal memory to our people whose life were taken by the Russian repressive system. We will definitely protect our state and our people. Slava Ukraina. Okay, I don't care if you bring enough for everybody, just send me some. I don't want to give that one away. Give you guys an update, a quick look at some of the stories we'll be going over today as I scroll back to the top of the day and the drone report. Oh, it's a lot of stories today. And here we are at the beginning of the day. 273 enemy UAVs launched, 88 shot down, 128 lost in location. One enemy UAV was still in the air at the time of this posting. As a result of Russia's drone attack, Kyiv, Dnipro, and Donetsk regions suffered damage. That is one of the largest drone operations in a long, long time. And I kind of want to bring this up. May 19th, 9 days ago, the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has received information concerning a potentially significant air attack that may occur at any time over the next several days. The embassy, as always, recommends U.S. citizens be prepared to immediately shelter in the event an air alert is announced. gives you the information for downloading the air raid siren or alarm map. But yeah, that was 9 days ago, and here we are with nearly 300 drones being launched by Russia. And that is going to become more significant tomorrow night. And we'll get to that towards the end of the stream. I got information about that. Let me get the air alert map on the side here. And well, it's a bit of a morbid anniversary. Or cancel. No translation again. Thank you, Telegram. On this day, 81 years ago, Stalin's bloody regime began the deportation of Crimean Tatars from their historical homeland, Crimea. This image is in Ukrainian. I did go and have it translated. Map of the deportation of Crimean Tatars. The deportation began at dawn on May 18th, 1944, and ended at 4 p.m. on May 20th. 32,000 Russian troops were involved in the forced deportation. 10.5% were deported to the Urals. 4.7% were deported to Mari ASSR. 2.3% were deported to Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. 82.5% were deported to Uzbekistan. So May 11th, this was a resolution passed by Moscow. Basically, an entire population was accused of treason to the motherland, desertion, and defection to the enemy. Crimean Tatars were deprived of the right to return to their homeland until 1974, and basically still were not allowed to. Legally they were allowed to, but they just, how Russia enforces laws, they don't. In fact, it did not happen until 1989. 183,155 people were deported or evicted. 191 people died in transit. Approximately 25 to 46% died in between 44 and 45. Under Crimea was an independent republic inside Ukraine, and under Ukraine's leadership, 266,000 Crimean Tatars returned to Crimea. It's not known how many of those have been deported again. There was a census taken in 2001 that showed a total of 19,330 Crimean Tatars in Crimea in 2001. Yeah. Of course, information is provided by Ukrainiform. Their link is here, ukrainiform.ua. They provide it in the anyways. So yeah, that's a mass deportation and basically cultural and ethnic genocide of the Crimean Tartars tried to be perpetrated since Stalin in 1944. I just wanted to make sure I point that out and, never forget this. Russia's been doing this for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Trying to remove native populations, replace them with ethnic Russians, and so they can do stuff like they're doing now, saying, oh, there's more Russians in Crimea than Ukrainians. Well, yeah, because you deported all the Ukrainians and Crimean Tartars and everybody else, and basically gave away their homes, their properties, their businesses to Russians to move down there. Sound familiar? I sometimes I wonder who was reading from whose playbook during World War II. Was it Stalin reading from Adolf's, or Adolf reading from Stalin's? Um, yeah, there's some nasty, nasty stories from that. Um, One story that sticks out in my mind is one of the Russian officials had a eye for the daughter of one family. He deported everybody except the daughter. And well, you could figure out the rest. It's the stories are just horrific, and nothing's basically changed in 80 years, 81 years. It's just, you know, Russia is a country doomed to never learn from history because they hide history. So they're doomed to repeat it over and over and over again. We're tiny, we're toony. Sorry that that came up, but and another uh interesting event, I'll put it that way. Um come on, Telegram translate normally. The SBS unit Dark Node shot down the first 100 Shahed and Gerbers using interceptor drones yesterday. Well, actually today, but today's done in Ukraine. In particular, 76 of the downed drones were Shaheeds, and another 24 were Gerbers. The SBS reported on the high cost effectiveness of such a solution. An anti-aircraft drone costs about $5,000 rather than using Patriot missiles or aircraft missiles to shoot them down. which range from like 100,000 a missile to up to 1 million per missile. So five grand to take out a Shaheed is much more cost effective. So hooray for that, and I hope to see more and more of this from 412th Nemesis Dark Node Brigade. And an interesting addition to the parade in Russia. Still does not want to translate, so I have to select the text. The Russians presented a rather strange ground robotics complex. It doesn't take much effort to make a platform, but there weren't enough rivets for a remotely controlled module for a manpad. Oh, let me slow this down to normal speed and replay this one. Oh, that's just hilarious. You know, you're flaunting a drone, and on that drone you have a guy sitting with a manpad. How does that make that unmanned? And this guy must really have to trust the guy trying to drive it. And what the heck is this? Is that just like a security camera hanging off the drone to direct the other drones? You can't put a camera on each one, so you have a camera following it. Like literally, that looks like a Walmart security camera. And yes, I had to show this, of course. Fighters from the 33rd Motorized Rifle Brigade use this video to refute Russian anti-mine claims about the alleged occupation of the village of Bagatar. The brigade reported that defense was strong. Of course, Bagatar, let me zoom in here too. Several days ago, Russia claimed they completely controlled Bagatar. Here in the Novopavlivka direction, next to Constantinople. Here's the 33rd Brigade's video disproving Russia's claim. I just have one question for these two guys. Why are you standing on your toilet paper? Blue and yellow, man. Frost on the windshields, wow. This is how athlete's foot came to be, stepping on the Russian flag. I told you guys yesterday, but tomorrow, Defense Minister of Ukraine will present to the President a plan for the exchange of prisoners according to the formula of 1,000 for 1,000. So They are hoping to have everything approved and set and get those guys home either Tuesday or Wednesday. Defense ministers are working through the weekend to get all the information, paperwork, and other stuff set and ready for the president to sign, Zelensky to sign. So that will be great news to see when it actually happens. But everything is going forward and much, much faster than expected. It'll be great to see. I wonder if that's where hemorrhoids came from too, wiping your butt with it. Paratroopers of the 98th Division of the Russian Federation are elite skunks. 9 of their fighters abandoned their positions because of one drone. Yeah, this video is hilarious. This needs like the Benny Hill theme song played to it. So there's the Ukrainian drone coming in. And out come the cockroaches. So this is supposed to be the elite paratroop unit of Russia Federation. And one drone comes in, and 9 of them scatter like cockroaches. In an interesting turn of events, yeah, this is like straight out of like a bad TV show. Russia has launched a counteroffensive in the Baltic Sea. Today, the Russians, for the first time, detained a Greek oil tanker, the Green Admire, which flies under the flag of Liberia. The tanker left the Estonian port of Similia. Estonian Foreign Ministry reported the incident. According to them, the route was used for shipping safety and was agreed upon between Estonia, Finland, and the Russian Federation previously. Estonia emphasized that such actions by the Russian Federation demonstrate its unpredictability. Based on this situation, vessels heading to the port of Similia will now be redirected through Estonian territorial waters. So yeah, Russians are a little bit mad that their ships are getting sanctioned and are starting to nab other nations' ships. First bit about the elections in Romania. These are already closed out. I'll go through the news as we see it, but during the elections in Romania, we once again see signs of Russian interference. A viral fake news campaign on Telegram and other social media networks aims to influence the electoral process. This was expected, and the authorities have debunked the fake news. But yeah, that is Russia using its propaganda team to try and influence the elections in Romania. Here is airstrike with French baguettes bombs on a gathering point for swimmers in the so-called Novoya, the Russian word for new. Novokakovka is where it should be, but yeah, this is one of the Russian assaults that happens in the Dnipro area. Wait, let me restart now that I got the volume up. Yeah, the assault ended before it began, really, for that one. And oh, the poor gamers out there. And bravo to Sony. Sony began blocking PlayStation accounts of Russian nerds without a warning. I love that title. Previously, Sony consoles were included in the EU sanctions list, but did not prohibit Russian accounts from continuing to exist. But any purchases and accordingly the online mode stopped working on them. To solve the problem, Russians began to buy foreign accounts through outright purchases or register independently in other regions. Using this feature, players from Russian Federation continued to play new games and buy subscriptions with games, but this has come to an end tonight. Users from the Russian Federation began to complain en masse about blocking accounts and without the possibility of unblocking them. The accounts of Muscovites who thought they were the most cunning and spent their wooden ones on new toys are turning to ashes under the influence of sanctions and the burning farts of the swamp dwellers. There's a bit of mistranslation in there, but he gets the point across. So yeah, Sony is basically taking the sanctions to the Russian gamers. Oh darn. All I'm going to say is Ukraine has some stiff penalties for traffic violations. Because today, the death penalty for violating traffic rules was issued to Russian occupiers by the 28th Special Rifle Brigade. Don't speed in Ukraine, apparently. Woo woo, that's the sound of the police. And for all those Russian trolls listening in that want to tell me that Russia has plenty of armor left to do their assaults, let me ask you this as I play this one again. If Russia has so much armor and so much weaponry available to them, why are they sending these guys on assaults? In particularly past a burnt out Russian tank on dirt bikes. When you can answer that one, you can talk in my chat. And of course, some more drone on drone action. A W Samurai shot down another Zala UAV with anti-aircraft FPVs. Again, it's much cheaper. Ooh. And much more effective to take these things out with other drones. This is a Russian surveillance drone. Or this was a Russian surveillance drone. And apparently held together with baling wire and duct tape. And we get to the end of the day in Romania's election, with 98.39% of the votes being counted according to the election results, with 54.22% of the votes pro-European and pro-Ukrainian candidate Nixurdan becomes the country's president by a significant margin. And we, Ukraine, congratulate him on that. According to media reports, Simeon is allegedly preparing protests by his associates for tomorrow over the allegedly stolen elections. Hello, Trump. Yeah, this Simeon dickweed, halfway through the elections, I think 30% of the vote was counted, and he was like 1% down. He declared victory and started celebrating, hopeful, I guess, because his Russian bosses told him to. But no, this Chris Daniel Dan, pro-EU, pro-Ukrainian, wins the Romanian election. Some bad news for, well, Americans. The United States just lost its last perfect credit rating. Moody's, the last of the big three rating agencies, has downgraded the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA1 for the first time since 1917. The other two major agencies, Fitch Ratings and the S&P, have already downgraded the U.S. in 2023 and 2011, respectively. Yeah, the U.S. Treasury and security bills and bonds are no longer AAA rated. Oh, you're talking about the boat that hit the bridge? Yeah, I saw the video on that. I'm here for Ukraine news, so I won't be showing that. I'm sure you guys can find it out there if you want to see it. A direct hit from a previously captured Mista B howitzer on another Russian dirt biker. What I think is interesting in this is you see the thermal here, natural video here, or normal video. You see this thing shoot out from the hit, but you don't see it on the thermal. Nada. But another motorcycle bites the dust. Uh, 8 Russian Molniya UAVs were shot down by the soldiers of the 12th Division of Azov. Is it just me, or do these things look like they were made in a kindergarten class inside Russia? Ooh, rain's starting here. Okay, one of those looked at least halfway professionally made, but the other ones looked like they were put together with wires and like cellophane from your kitchen. And of course, duct tape. There's another one put together with duct tape. And another, and another, and another, and I think you need new glasses, Andrew. Okay, I got nature yelling at me. So, a parade of destroyed Russian cars of all possible modifications in the Chasiv Yar area. So let's get back to the beginning, full screen, and enjoy. I'll be right back. I forgot I muted my mic. Yeah, I'm not loaded anymore, that's for sure. Oof. So how'd you enjoy the parade of all the possible cars? No, it was a sit down, not a stand up there, Steve, if you have to know. Vampire drone of the 5th Brigade went hunting. They backed that one up and watch this area right here. That dude went flying. Who are you gonna call? Worm Busters. You got about half a mile there. Now, hold on a second. Tell me the skill this needs. He flies between the skirting and the treads of the tank. Hollywood, if you need drone pilots after this war is over to do those impossible shots for your movies, hire a Ukrainian. Shooting down an enemy reconnaissance UAV with the help of an FPV drone. You kind of see a little bit of a pixels of the drone following it. Let's play that one again. So you can see the FPV drone right there behind it. That's the reconnaissance drone.
Опа! Охуеть, прикольно. На FPV хоть.
Russian drones are already flying to the Kramatorsk Dobropilya Highway. This is more than 40 kilometers from the front line. Modified Molina kamikaze drones resistant to electronic warfare are mainly used for the strikes. Those were the ones we just saw being taken out. Kramatorsk, Dobropilya. I know it's right here. I just can't put my brain on it. Okay, fine. I hate going to Google Maps. North of Pokrovsk. Okay. Here. Dobropilya here. This highway that runs this way up to Kramatorsk. This is the main supply line right now. And well, here's a video of those Russian drones, of the results of those drones, I should say. And give you an idea, this highway runs right through here, and this is the front line. So, you know, getting pretty far behind the enemy lines. And go back up. These are those drones heading towards that highway. So these are 8 transport trucks that would have been attacked if they did not intercept these drones. So again, great work, the 12th Brigade of Azov. And okay, just to go back to the warning from the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine. Russia plans to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile, the RS-24, on the night of May 19th. That is tomorrow night. They note that the training and combat launch will be carried out with the aim of a demonstrative pressure and intimidation of Ukraine, as well as EU and NATO member states. AKA a terrorist act. When you try to cause fear rather than hit military targets, this is a terrorist attack, and Ukraine already knows that it is coming tomorrow night. Yes, I've been to it. It's a pretty cool place, actually. And I did not live far from it. I was staying here, and I forgot where it is offhand. Armenian Yard. I know it's right here somewhere. Oh, fine. I knew it was right there. I just blanked on it for some reason. So, yeah, the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine is right there. And go forward a little bit here. So that's the U.S. Embassy building. And as you can see, rather busy. Schedule your visit. Yeah, that's again right here. And I was living right here. I had to go to the embassy to get some forms so I could open my bank account in Ukraine. So it's rather interesting. Um, okay, that doesn't sound like rain anymore. That sounds like hail. So yeah, look for a lot of news coming up because we got the ballistic launch reported for tomorrow night. Prisoner exchange probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. Trump's call to, it's very interesting that this intercontinental ballistic missile test combat launch is scheduled for tomorrow after the call that Trump's supposed to make to Putin. Trump's then supposed to talk to Zelensky on Tuesday. A lot of EU member nations have been calling Trump over the weekend, talking to him prior to the call to Putin. So it'll be interesting couple days of news. Destruction of Russian logistics in the Kursk direction by Sting group of Ballista Special Unit. Minus 3 vans, a minibus, Ural, a truck, and 2 passenger cars. Here's their video. She told me to mute this song because I'll get a copyright strike. uh well, one of the things brought up in the Turkey meeting was that apparently Russia have this belief that if there's a NATO presence in Ukraine or Ukraine joins NATO, NATO will be attacking Russia by 2030. I don't think I forwarded that, but I can go back and look for it. Destruction of 2 Russian tanks hidden in abandoned structures in the Torets direction. Hey, look, we're in the 70s. They got the beads in front of the door. Oh yeah, the Russian turtle tanks are getting blown up while they're parked. And on a lighter side, hasn't seen his father for over 3 years. A 15-year-old boy was returned from occupation. His mother died of illness in 2022. He remained to live with his aunt, grandparents in the occupied territories, and today he got to come home. Oh. All dressed up, nowhere to go. 91st Separate Anti-Tank Battalion in the direction of Konstantinivka, Pokrovsk, one of the hottest sections of the front. The enemy is constantly storming, but the joint efforts of all units of the armed forces of Ukraine in this direction managed to stop it. Here's the video. Salt of the Red Earth, hey. China now more popular worldwide than the US. Net global perception of select countries where negative values indicate negative perceptions and positive percentages indicate positive perceptions. China 14%, US 5%, negative 5%, Russia negative 9%. Well, at least we're viewed better than Russia for right now. Thank you, Trump. And Zelensky presented Pope Leo with a gift. The Mother of God with the child painted on a fragment of a box from under heavy artillery weapons brought from Izium. It is about our children, about those who suffered from the war, who were deliberately kidnapped and deported by Russia, and who are eagerly awaited at home in Ukraine. We pray for the lives of all our deported children and hope for the support of the Vatican in this matter so that everyone, both children and Ukrainian prisoners, can return home. The Pope gave Zelensky a book, and this was Zelensky's gift to the Pope. I'm not going to lie, that is freaking amazing. I mean, all I can think in my head is that, auctioning this off would be a huge fundraiser. Less than 100 subscribers. Yeah. I dread the day when I get big enough that I can't keep up with chat. I mean, with my dyslexia, it's hard to do it now. I just want to get to the point where I can do like memberships and super chats. just a rotating way, an ongoing way to keep raising funds for projects in Ukraine. Drones, trucks, whatever. I still don't know any contingency plans of what to do if I ever get above 100. The soulless popular content creator. Yeah, I won't go so far to say that because I know a lot of people that are over 100 subs. If you're ever in that position, Anton, contact me. I'll help you out. True, just never be soulless. No, it's really easy to, once you're in that position, it gets easier to engage chat, because you're given so many more tools. Like until I get to like 1,000 subs, I'm not able to raid other channels. And so like being over 1,000 subs, if you guys have um your own spin-offs or whatever, kind of like I am of Mercado, I can't even raid Mercado back right now because I don't have enough subscribers to my channel to have raids enabled. It's kind of a shitty way to do it. I wish I could do raids now, and like other people could raid me back and forth, and it's just a way to support each other. But yeah, you're not allowed to do it unless you have 1,000 subs or more. I mean, it's Google. YouTube is Google. So eventually, someone's going to come up and be a thorn in their side, which Twitch is already starting to do. But eventually they're going to have to put some effort into YouTube instead of, just effort to try and keep you from blocking ads on YouTube, effort into actual content and features on YouTube. I will enjoy it when that day comes about. Trust me. Crap, that did not work how I wanted it to work. And that still did not work how I wanted it to work. There we go. So, very cool gift for the Pope from the front line in Izium. Our FPV drones are working in the Novopavlivka direction. T-64, BMP-2, and BMP were destroyed and damaged. Holy crap, Russia does still have some armor left. Well, not anymore. totally seen this one already. Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Evil Knievel. Yeah, okay, whatever. Sorry about that. Let me actually get rid of this one because it's a duplicate. Before we get into this one, Mexigirl asks, is Twitch a better platform? If you are gaming and doing gaming streams, Twitch is a much better platform for income, but not for gathering new viewers. I've helped out several people and get their streams going and get their channels launched as a gamer. You do the stream on Twitch, and then you cut that stream into segments and post them as episodes on YouTube. The episodes attract new members. You link your Twitch account, and hey, if you want to watch live, come here on Twitch. Involving chat in the stream is a lot easier. There's games out there that let chat directly interact with the game, through bits, through cheers, through votes, through so many different things. Twitch integration is huge in games right now. So yes, as a gamer, Twitch is a better platform to stream on, but you're not going to get new viewers as fast as if you put if you put those streams in combination with videos on YouTube, you can get big really quick. General consensus for anything not game related, yes, I would agree with you. Um, yeah, I mean, like if I wanted to go back and do if I wanted to be a gaming streamer, I'd stream my games on Twitch, cut that content into 20 to 30 minute segments, post them on YouTube throughout the week, and I'd only have to do like one stream a week, and then I'd have content on YouTube every day until the next stream. And then you rinse, repeat, do it again. Mm. And I understand why Dylan Burns did it that way, but you have to realize most people on Twitch don't do that. They're not trying to get you to go to their own website. Dylan Burns had to kind of do it that way because he was trying to show stuff that was not allowed to be shown on other platforms, so he kind of had to do his own platform. So I can understand that with his, but for the most part, it's better. But here I am streaming on YouTube because, well, I think YouTube's better for news, for one. Um, I was doing gardening and chicken and goat videos before, so that's not something that Twitch would be good for. Now I'm doing Ukraine videos and broadcasts, and Twitch wouldn't be good for that. So, um, I'm also not doing this for income. So, um, yeah, I've had those moments where it popped in my head like, oh, yeah, if I could get like so many viewers, I could make $43 a month on YouTube. Um, yeah, everybody pushes for ad revenue, and it's kind of crazy. Um, I have 13 concurrent viewers right now. Um, so if I was playing an ad, I would get 13 cents for those views if everybody saw the ad. So how many ads would I have to play? Oh, 14 cents. Now we got another viewer. You need probably 10,000 viewers to make ads even worth it for YouTube. Um, it is what it is. Now, on the other hand, Twitch, you can get with maybe 30, 40 viewers, you can end up with $3 or $4 in ad revenue because of the targeted advertising to your audience. Yeah, but I'm not really concerned with making the revenue. I don't need YouTube as an income. I have my disability. Excuse me. I have my disability as income source. So yeah, it's weird. Um, hey there, Chungus. Uh, look, Chungus. One of these times you're gonna have to like call me on Discord, and we're gonna have to talk and like seriously talk if you want to grow your channel like huge. Um, one of the viewers that doesn't come in very often is oh, I can't remember how to say his name, but CF. And he has chicken videos on his channel. And he said he wants to stream, and I told him the best way to do his stream, and it would make him money, but he just doesn't take the advice. Well, uh breaking news. Oh wait, let's go to this one first. A Russian TV propaganda journalist from whatever. Alexei Simoyev has been eliminated in Ukraine. So, he was on the front line, and well, he won't be doing any more stories. But there's also breaking news. George Simeon, elected president of Chad. I am the new president of flag of Chad. So he can't even get his country's flag right. And for the last video of tonight, and still won't let me translate normally. Toretsk, once a city, today a wound. What you see in this video is not a still from a movie. It is a reality that continues every day. Houses, streets, schools, hospitals. What was once life is now reduced to rubble. Constant blows, constant erasure from the map, but despite everything, we stand. Video is from 42nd Brigade in the Tourette's direction. This is a sister battalion of Viper, and shout out to Viper. Keep up the good fight, brother. It's not that Ukrainians target journalists. It's that they are, as you can see here, this journalist has a weapon right there. They're not non-combatants. The Russian journalists are not non-combatants. Anyways, here is the last video from 42nd Brigade. Hope you enjoy. I'll shout you out and have you in. Give you a call on Discord if you can spot a building with a roof. If you equated this to tornado damage, you would need like a new EF designation. This would be like an EF 10 or like 12 maybe. Tornado, you'd see like a little strip. I'm trying to show you on my screen. Tornado, you'd see a strip through the city. This is an entire city destroyed. Russia doesn't bomb churches. Remember, here's a church. You can tell because of the frame of the dome. But Russia doesn't bomb churches. I'm still looking for a building with an intact roof. Yeah, there's a reason that the Russian currency is called the ruble. Um, you know, you're talking about an entire city. Let's go measure distance. Let's say from here to here. 5 kilometers wide. Let's clear that measurement. And 4.5 kilometers tall. Um, it's a big area. Um, yeah, let's go. Let's put this in perspective. Let's go London. Um, so can you measure distances on Google Maps? Measure distance. How do I do it? Okay, 2 kilometers. There we go, 5 kilometers. So, oh, switch back, kilometers. So, about this area right here is the size of Toretsk. You know, draw a line like right down here, and this area is the size of Toretsk, and it's completely destroyed. Um, that should help some of the EU folks figure out the size of that city. Let's go New York. Uh, again, 5 kilometers. So about this size right here. Hempstead, Garden City, Floral Park, Elmont. You're talking about that area leveled to the ground. For all you farmers out there, let's come closer to me. Uh, let's go to layers. So about 5 kilometers is so 1 kilometer is about there. So 1, 2. So it's about 4 miles. So a 4 mile by 4 mile section. So zoom in here. This is how many farm fields? And that's only 3 high. Let's go 4 high. You're talking this area here. Destroyed, leveled to the ground. Yeah, good map crap. I wish I was able to draw. No, 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 no. Um, Yeah, I wish there's. Wish I could. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but I mean, it's a big area, and that's just one city. They did the same to Bakhmut, and that's about the same size as Toretsk. Um, they're doing the same to Konstantinivka. Kramatorsk is getting hit. Slovansk is getting hit. Um, New York. And of course, Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk, they're doing the same thing too. They're shelling it every day. And, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, look at Mariupol. No, no, let's look at Mariupol. Because, oh, the Russians are rebuilding it. Uh-huh. There is updated maps of Mariupol. Uh, they rebuilt this building. Look at all the other ones in this city block. Uh, they've gone through and rebuilt some of the buildings, but you could still see roofs damaged. Oh, they built 3 new buildings here. What about all these ones? Um, the theater where children were written is still written on the ground, destroyed, and they put up this little fence with pictures on it to make it look like it did from the ground. And Russia bombed children in that square. Yeah, they're rebuilding Mariupol. Um, you can go pretty much anywhere in the city. And yeah, they're rebuilding right along the main drag so they can show the main drag. But you go right behind it and destroyed houses, more destroyed houses, more destroyed houses. Uh, oh yeah, Mariupol is being rebuilt. Uh-huh. The one I love is this. This was a shopping mall. And I love to get an updated image here because Russia's rebuilt this shopping mall, um, and built in like a big apartment complex in here for Russian politicians and military leadership, and stole all the furniture, electronics, and stuff out of this mall to furnish those apartments and get their own supplies. And then they rebuilt the mall to service these people. Um, yeah, this is that mall. Let's see if I can go back out this way. And kind of get a view of it here. But yeah, oh yeah, Russia's rebuilding Mariupol. And this Mariupol was only under attack for 28 days. And the main thing about Mariupol, the main employment was the ironworks plant here. You see any work being done here? There's nothing. Everything's destroyed. This was oh, they redid this. There you go. I'm surprised that's not on the front line yet. And the buildings, the storage areas, everything, the railroad tie-ins are still all damaged. Yes, Mariupol looks perfect, doesn't it? Um, yeah, after they, well, because up here, this is the um, cemetery for the city. Um, this is, these are all new graves. These are mass graves. All new graves. All new graves of people that were killed in Mariupol. This is from the 2022 invasion. Those are all the people that were killed in Mariupol. Hey, KKGG. Good night, Chungus. And this picture was taken, I believe it was last year around August. And, you know, you zoom in. This is like one of these graves. There's been reports of burying 2 to 3 bodies in a single grave here. These were all trenches and bodies just dumped into them and covered over with dirt. And they kind of like the road people go in on, they made it look like there wasn't mass graves, but there you go. Trench graves. Right there's one of the open trenches still. And you see the white bags of where they've dumped people into the graves. And that was fall of last year. And they're still dumping bodies in mass graves in Mariupol. You know? There's another delivery of bodies. Figure how many people to one of those trenches? So 20 feet. It was about a 50-foot trench. You know, each one of those lines is a 50-foot trench. So, like right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trenches. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trenches. This is what Russia is doing to Ukraine right there. But, you know, the Russian trolls will come in and say, oh, yeah, they're rebuilding Ukraine. They're rebuilding the areas they've occupied. Well, Here you go. One building out of how many? A couple buildings here. I believe it was like this city block. They went through and leveled this city block and rebuilt apartment buildings here. And they built in a basically a city block here. But that's about all the rebuilding they've done in Mariupol is 2 city blocks and about as much expansion in the cemetery as they've rebuilt the city. And yeah, it's horrific. I mean, you want to see what Russia's done? That's one city. Um, you can go through each of the cities and go to their cemeteries and see the same thing. I'm not sure where the Melitopol cemetery is. Let's see if we could find it though. I don't know if they've updated the pictures here either, so no, it doesn't look like they've updated these pictures. Let's try Kherson. I don't think they've updated the pictures in Kherson either. Um, yeah, I know they did it in Mariupol. I don't know about any other cities, big cities that have been updated, but go come up to like see if Kramatorsk has been updated. No updates in Kramatorsk. Konstantinivka, Bakhmut. Let's see if they did any updates in Bakhmut. Nope. Bakhmut's completely leveled. I mean, just one random location in Bakhmut. And I can tell you right now, none of this is here anymore. Let's try Toretsk. We just saw a video of Toretsk. All these houses, all these apartments, they're all gone. The only city they've apparently updated is Mariupol. And why doesn't Google want to update the other ones? Because they've gotten backlash from Russia on updating some sections of Mariupol. They didn't update this section of it, but they've updated others like here. But yeah, Russia's rebuilding Mariupol. Uh-huh. Oh, two new buildings. Well, rest of them around the area are rubble. Um, I know they went through and redid a section of the beach down here. Um, yeah, built all new houses, new roofs, new everything right along the beach. So they could have bloggers walk down the beach and say, "Oh, how great Mariupol is looking." And then you go right behind it and burnt out houses, you know, buildings without roofs. Just off outside the camera view. This really green picture is the old pictures. Yeah, I'd love for Google to update the whole area of Mariupol. But yeah, you can see just the sheer destruction that Russia caused. I mean, where's the rebuilding? Uh huh. Anyway, let's go to another uh, topic. Um, I think they should because it lets Russia say whatever they want, and there's no public accountability. There's no public way to see it other than, you know, here you are. You know, just an entire, probably quarter of the city's destroyed. And that's the images that we can see. I know there's more destruction than that. Um, I know this area has been completely built up. The epicenter completely burned down and looted. Building warehouse. So they've updated little areas of it, but not all of it. I don't see any. I think this is old pictures here. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Um, the average person does not have a very long attention span. Um, I mean, look at what was going on with India and uh, Bangladesh or whatever it was. Um, Unfortunately, wars last longer than the average human attention span. It's a sad thing, but it is what it is. There's other news out there that I skipped over. One of those was former President Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer that reached his bones. Pro-Western Nuskur Dan wins Romanian elections. Trumpist Simeon admitted defeat and congratulated his opponent. Finally, good to know that that won't come to blows. Yeah, typical day in Russia. Here you go.
Многочисленным просьбам я приехал в кафе России в Шарлоттенбурге.
This is kind of funny.
Самое обалденное пиво в Берлине.
Опа, Америка, Европа.
За Россию.
Давай до конца.
Запивать нечем.
Давай, давай. А вот это
подожди.
будет по-русски. Ну, он мой друг.
Подержи мои зубы и сейчас поговорим.
Дай мне свой пиджак.
Yeah, India and Pakistan over Kashmir. Yeah, they're still fighting. It's still going on. But it's not a big news story anymore, and it's not.
Я купил футболку Казахстан. Я разыграю эту футболку среди тех, кто написал комментарий. Отправлю в любую точку мира почтой, куда угодно.
Goes into the store, comes back out, and there's a brawl in the street.
Вот и полиция приехала. Ничего тут смешного на самом деле нет. Под мостом рядом с кафе «Россия» происходит полный пиздец. Я не планировал делать какой-то трэш.
So that one. Oh, I kind of did not want to go over this, but I will because there is some trepidation with the 47th Brigade. The commander is not happy with what has happened in Kursk. And while I think AAR does best with laying out what's going on, AAR says, I plan to publish another address today, important, about the rhetorical what to do, but I will postpone it until tomorrow. Today I intend to speak about the published situation in Magura, the commander of the 47th Brigade, through the prism of the Pitaks. As the commander of a unit built by the hands of the commander over 3 years of full-scale war, from a platoon to a BPS brigade, on the conditions of uninterrupted performance of combat missions on all available front lines. As the commander of the command whose Cossacks have been working in the Kursk direction since the first day of August to this day, deterring the enemy from attacking Sumy and distracting them from Kharkiv and the seething Donbass. Every time I feel pain, tears quietly flow for each fallen Patak or wounded. But with clenched jaws, we do every minute what we signed up for 3 years ago. We resist the enemy together, a circular, voluntary, joint responsibility and individual responsibility. Every single battalion commander of the 414th Brigade, deputy brigade commanders, and brigade commanders, all listed above without exception, are not career soldiers. Yesterday in the ranks of sergeants, today junior lieutenants, each the father and mentor of his team, his battalion. Every single battalion commander to this day flies in combat crews, knows all the intricacies of tactics, plans operations, and analyzes the implemented and failed operations. Each one, first of all, accepts responsibility for saving the lives of personnel. We solve all issues at the linear level, local level. In dialogue and consultations, we take a clear position on the incoming senseless tasks, but always offer a reasonable alternative. More working vision. We do not regret and do not take out the garbage from the house. We sort out that garbage in the brigade barn. Then there is nothing to take out. Every single soldier in the brigade has a contract with the brigade commander and a black and white instruction to contact him directly about issues that require intervention. Let anyone who denies this fact spit in my face. This is Maddie R saying this, not me. Don't come spit in my face. Every soldier in the brigade receives a detailed report on the results of the day every day. The pilot, the cook, the clerk, and the auto mechanic. This is our microflora and culture of coexistence and joint struggle. We are gently getting rid of only drunkards, drug addicts, and idlers, pretenders, and military tour guides who were brought to us by transfers, such as it is a growth crisis. Let it remain here as an alternative form of building the environment of the military organism. I will not sue anyone. It will remain only for us. Magura was built from scratch, if I am not mistaken. It was built brightly with a perspective. The baptism of fire at Orarhiv also came brightly. We witnessed the first 48 hours until we transferred to the Marines at Uroziki. I saw such a quantity and quality of foreign equipment for the first time and probably the last time during the war. Strength and power. Why is it not the first time in a moment of pain or quarrel that public demarches of commanders arise with accusations of everyone and everything? I did not find the position of the brigade commander on the network. Maybe I searched badly and it is there, or maybe it is simply a downcast attitude or an inability to substantiate and defend one's own position, which, in my opinion, does not justify either the fact of the démarche or its publication, but it gives rise to a wave of slander from both the favor of the enemy who knows how to quickly suck in and telescope, putting wood in the firebox. In any case, I condemn the form of the démarche's publication and let it remain my subjective opinion separately as for anyone's children, even the children of worms, whose territories we are currently taxing with the eyes and sting. If you haven't figured out, the commander of the 47th Brigade has been accused of mishandling operations in Kursk, and he's asked for resignation and replacement as commander. This is Madiar standing up for his fellow commander and laying it on the line for everybody to read. The system will be updated, adapted to the challenges, and formed into new doctrine. There is no other way. Moreover, there is no current adapted doctrine in the world yet. It is written with blood, but with a head. Of course, commanders are needed for this, and this war gave birth to those commanders. There were quite a few across all branches of the armed forces. Otherwise, where would the birds have deployed so much? The birds have 12 battalion commanders and company commanders, respectively, not a single one appointed from outside. Hope for the Corps system and its correct commanders. 5 brigades in one head, a fixed lane, a good perspective of organizing interaction. No friend or foe, drowie or assignee. Not familiar with the future, but one for the H. I know for sure from the best side, proven in battles. I'm sure everything will work out well for him and quickly. We have a chance and we will take advantage of it. After all, there may not be another one. Quiet and peaceful, Madiar. And so another address to look forward to for tomorrow. But, you know, Madiar sticking up for his fellow commander. I cannot say anything but respect. Um, so yeah, I'm sure you're going to hear more and more about the 47th and its commander over the coming days. Just remember there is 2 sides to every story. Um, and well, be sure to wait for the full story, for the other side of that story, before you pass judgment on anybody from the 47th. They were thrown into a very, very tough position in Sumi, and they did well beyond what was expected of them in this area. And I am sure each life lost in the 47th Brigade weighs on that man's heart. Well, we're here. Polish elections were held today. I don't know the political stance of any of these guys, but Rafael Trzaskowski, Karol Nawrocki had the top 2 percentage of votes. Menzen, Brown, Zandberg, other candidates, according to the same data, received less than 5% of the vote. Most likely development of events now seems to be a second round of voting with the participation of Trzaskowski and Nawrocki. I hope I am saying your names right. If I did not, please inform me how to say their names correctly. That's pretty much all the news I have for today. Did I miss anything? All clear on the air alerts in Ukraine at the moment. Yeah, unfortunately, that's it, Andrew. Uh, Yeah, stereotypes wouldn't be stereotypes unless there was some truth behind them. Well, the ones that are left are doing good, Nura. Between the wildcats coming into my yard and attacking my chickens, storm damage, other things, I have two of the babies left and my two adult ones. Um, yeah, I kind of did not want to admit that, but yeah, I lost 8 baby chicks because of various issues. Most of those were because of wildcats coming in and taking them. Yeah, 86 is a American term for throwing in the trash. 47th is 47th president. Yeah, I get that. Do you even have a lap when you sit down? I don't. Yeah, that's bad. I know I need to work out more and get in better shape. Um, oh, that still stings. Um, Clearing out junk and doing some work around the yard and sliced I sliced up a bit of my hand right in the crack of the fold of the hand, and it hurts every time I move my thumb. Uh well, I guess we call it a night at this point. Um get ready for tomorrow. I have 2 students tomorrow for English practice and more yard work to do. No, I use chickens to hatch them. With that, I'm going to say good night. Thank you all for coming to the stream. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. But most importantly, oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. UPS kind of um gave it away. But yeah, I forgot to pin this to chat. So I'll do that now just in case. Amazon wish list. Well, my email let the cat out of the bag that I have 2 packages scheduled for delivery tomorrow. So 477 or 7477 and another package arriving from Amazon 5153. So as long as they show up, I guess I get to do some unboxing tomorrow. So thank you for those who purchased items on the wish list. I can't wait to see what I got. Thank you guys so much for supporting Ukraine. Please, please keep up the support either through my wish list to take meds into Ukraine, or drone fundraisers, or however you want to support Ukraine. Just keep supporting Ukraine. I thank you. The soldiers thank you. And even Zelensky thanks you every announcement he does. Have a good night. Stay safe, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.